All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Beastars, Season 1, Episode 9. Oh boy, this got complicated.
It's
messy, and
the love polygon is growing.
It's growing, and it's not only growing bigger and more complicated, but also more intense because Louis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And Legoshi, Juno. Ah.
Yeah.
Well. Okay. I mean, on the plus side, even though it did not go perfectly, like it had some issues and stuff. Ooh, that's me. We got Legoshi and Haru to have some kind of communication.
Right. She was able to see a bit of some of the situation Legoshi was in, and that she would need to kind of help him out with
but
that.
She doesn't have to. I think that's the thing that's tricky here, is that Legoshi, you also need to understand that you could be wrong about some things, and just because you're experiencing something doesn't make it your interpretation correct. It's going to be awkward. This is going to be awkward, to say the least.
It in a lot of ways it already is. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And to see how these characters will figure everything out is that I'm very much interested to see it. Yep.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this now. Walking on the wild side, I just sleep through my whole life. Sometimes wearing buffalo style, sometimes got a rock and roll mind. That's wonderful, my life. Please could you kiss my name when the music's over? Turn out the lights, it's in such a sweet time. Would you please, my friend? Let's start the overtime. We're going through the night, going through the blue time. And you heard that scream and shout in your mind. Going through the shine, going over shooting stars. And all I was talking about was music. And that's called jazz!
Oh boy.
I love that effect when they keep sustaining the za. So it's like jazz. It's like ah. Ooh. Whoa, whoa. What is this? Whoa. Whoa. We're gonna go back and check that out.
Is that a nightmare or a memory?
Wait. Oh, shoot. What? Oh,
wait
crap.
a minute.
Oh, crap.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Was he saved by the panda? No, probably not. One of them was missing an eye, dude. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, shoot. His father?
Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Don't make a pun, Caleb. Don't make a pun.
Yeah, I know, right?
Don't make a pun. Don't make a pun.
Dear life. Okay.
Oh, is that a gray wolf? Did you notice how one of them
のナイフ一本で切り抜けてみろ。
What the hell? Oh
Wow.
my god!
私はホーンズ財閥会長のオグマだ。私には子供ができなかった。だがこれからは君に血を分けた実の息子として生きてもらう。
Whoa. Holy backstory.
Yeah.
伝わっているか。悔しさも悲しみも全て強さに変えるのだ。それが
Jesus.
お前の死は絶対に忘れない。
Oh my god.
俺が必ずこの世界を変えると。
Wow.
Oh,
That was.
oh my god.
また戻してる。
タイミングがちょっと大丈夫だ。ここぞって時に必ず伝える。
Wow.
思いを
It's crazy to think, like, how different Legoshi looked back then.
ルイ先輩とハルちゃんは俺がハルちゃんと出会うよりもずっと前から
Oh, yeah. Yeah, who knows, man? Whoa. Oh, you're adorable, buddy. Oh my gosh.
ルイ先輩
What the hell? What the hell? Why indeed?
悪けって悪けって話してくれ。
Nope, nope.
いつからこういうのって雇ったんだよ。
Yeah, yeah. What a badass Legoshi.
肉食のくせに知らねえのか。今ルイをリンチにしようと企んでる肉食の生徒が大勢いる。
Whoa. Shoot.
狼なら俺たちの気持ちがわかるだろ。
Oh.
と虎の争いを収束させて最高の女性を手に入れて亡くなった後輩を人知れず弔ってあんなにビースターにふさわしい獣は他にいない。
Oh.
敵に回ってるなら俺はルイ先輩を守る。
Wow.
Okay.
一生片思いで
Whoa. What is this development? This is so cool.
お前一匹でルイを守るなんて不可能だよ。バーカ。
Was that Bakugo's voice actor, by the way?
I believe so.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a scene.
Yeah.
Holy
that,
crap,
that
Legoshi.
happened very quickly.
Yeah.
何かあったの？痛い？
告白かしたことないな。
Ooh.
しかも成就しない前提での告白。
Mm-hmm.
ハルちゃんのことが好きなんだ。
今日めっちゃ蚊に刺されるわ。
Oh my god. Oh my god.
ハルちゃんのこと。
No, no. Oh, come on.
もしかしてわざと遮ってる？なんで？
I don't want to reject you. Yeah, yeah.
俺はこの気持ちで何かを壊す気はないよ。
Oh.
ハルちゃんも大切。ルイ先輩も尊敬している。このご時世だし、俺はとにかく無害でありたい。
Oh, the way his ears were back.
Uh-huh,
It's
yeah.
like, oh.
明日の隕石祭、夕方、ここで待ち合わせしよう。きちんと自分の気持ちを言わせて。
俺はそれで死んだ。
Yeah, but it's so.
Oh.
My
All right.
heart.
あ、花を大事に。
Yeah, nice little like, hey, take care of yourself, buddy. Like, oh yeah, Hara, I don't envy you. Yeah. Oh.
無害でありたいか。でも、
Right, right,
不可能より
right, right.
本能が存在する限り、誰しもが自分や他者を苦しめ、
And that's a part of life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
汚 しか
Oh!
Oh. Oh. What
Oh,
the
shit.
hell? Oh, crap. Is it because they know about the connection she has to at least
To Louis, maybe?
either Louis or Legoshi? At least just one of them.
この靴はあの頃だ。真っ白のドワーフウサギの匂いもあの頃だ。なんでわかるの？それは
Oh.
獅子組？
It's too...
獅子組が死亡となると
It's too obvious, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a trap, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
私に任せて。
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
That's dirty.
捜査して必ず助けてみせよ。ここで騒ぎを起こされてはたまったものではない。さらわれた少女にはもう手の施しようが。
Okay, so if this is his internal thoughts, then he wasn't directly involved. But-
ることだけは避けねばならぬ。
Wow. Wow.
That's dirty.
だけどまさか誘拐されるなんて
Oh.
あるじゃん。
Oh, man.
こんな小さいやつでボスのディナーに足りると思うか。
Oh.
またね。
Oh.
なかなかいないんだ。はい、顔開けろ。
Oh my god. Jesus. Oh, come on.
Wait, is it...
大のオスライオンが小草に一匹。
Okay, this is a new character.
怪我はなかったかな。
Oh my god.
He's still gonna eat her, though.
見たところまだ若そうだ。
Oh.
せいか。
Oh no.
Yeah.
さあ、服を
Oh.
自らの意志で服を脱ぎ、自分がいかに高級な食材か私に。
I want a squad to bust in here.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
全部だ。流れを止めてはいけない。これは必要な工程なのだよ。君の肉を完璧な状態で食すために。
Oh my god.
Ugh. I'm sick, man. Like,
大人の世界を知っておく
whoa.
必要がある。
Oh shit, I thought it was the Goshi.
Yeah.
君も獅子組には手を焼くだろうからね。
いくら隠蔽しても何も解決は
This is interesting, though, that they're talking, because I want to know what his objective is.
絶対に知られてはならないという覚悟を。
Oh my god.
大学に入学する直前、牙を抜いて総入れ歯にし、
Whoa.
を目指し、400万かけてこの顔に。
Wow.
ライオンは善良であるというイメージが崩れれば、草食と肉食の分断はより深刻なもの。
So he's trying to make an ally here, actually.
But also it's a veiled threat if you're not
It is.
going to put that in jeopardy, are you?
ライチの生き目録だ。まだ君の履歴が残っているな。
Oh my god.
を生還し、明日の隕石祭を無事。
Wow.
暁には褒美として私がも。
Oh, this is so screwed up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on. Yeah, you... Come on,
This is
Louis.
so tricky,
Don't
though.
take it.
I think he needs to basically feign the act of taking it.
Oh.
よし、契約成立だ。
Breathe, Louis. Breathe. Breathe.
He saw the shoe in there.
Yeah, well, of course he did. Of
Okay,
course he
okay,
did.
right,
He was
right,
being
yeah,
told who
yeah,
it
yeah.
was. There's no
Yeah,
like
okay,
secret
right,
there.
right.
Right.
はるちゃんがさらわれたんです
Oh crap.
よくあることだ。
Oh, damn.
Oh, well, this is gonna drive a wedge between them if he doesn't
Oh, for
respond
sure.
right away.
ちゃんのこと好きなんでしょ？はるちゃんだってあなたのことを。分かったような口聞くな。お前みたいに弱者ごっこを楽しんでのうのうと生きてる狼に何がわかる？
Come be vulnerable, Louis.
言い聞かせろ。
Yeah.
Oh my
right,
god,
right. Uh-huh.
yeah.
もごまかしも平和のためなんだよ。
Not showing his
can't show
eyes.
his eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, come on.
Well, see, that's the problem. It doesn't necessarily work that easily.
正直な力でルイ先輩に伝えますよ。
Oh.
ちゃんが今どんな危険にさらされてるか。今どんだけあんたに怒ってるか。
Oh.
直進する
Oh.
俺はもうあなたに任せ
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if they understand each other in that regard.
春は俺がもらう。
Oh. Oh, this is so good.
Okay,
Oh my god. Oh, that's the end of the episode.
What? What? Like.
So, what we have here is actually a really, hear me in the most positive way here. This is a very soapy direction for the show to take.
Sure.
But think about this there, though. If it's taking a soapy direction, why do you do that primarily? It's to have dramatic consequences.
Exactly. Yeah.
But dramatic doesn't necessarily mean negative. What it just
Right.
means is ones that
Uh-huh.
violently shift
Right.
the dynamic of the story. But what we really got here, in addition to that, was a communication that they understand
Yep.
where each other
Yep.
need to split and
Right.
go their separate ways.
Yep.
Yet, Legoshi said in the beginning that he needs to protect Louis so that he can go and ascend to the top. So by him taking on the darkness and the burden himself, it's almost as if he's saying, I'll become the monster.
big bad wolf.
I'll become the big bad wolf that you guys need
And all
me
huff
to be.
and puff. Yeah.
And it's so good. It's so good. Oh, yes, let's go.
All right.
All right, y'all, I'm
Holy
just warning
shit.
you in advance. This is going to be a long discussion, so
Yeah.
buckle up. If you stick around to the end of the discussion for this one, I'm probably going to have like a special like word or something just for y'all that are awesome enough to actually watch these entire discussions, because holy freaking
God.
crap.
So-
we set up an entire arc of story potentially just in this one thing that has nothing to do with Haru's kidnapping. That's just an entire other thing.
Right.
That's
Like,
that's its own thing here.
Oh my God.
Like,
And so.
like,
We got it. Look,
all right.
Louis backstory.
So,
itself is
yeah, all right. Let's start with the Louis backstory.
Let's start with the Louis
because
backstory.
Holy shit. Okay.
So
all right.
we needed to introduce the Dark Market before we could hear his backstory. That's why we
Right.
did that.
Yep.
The other thing we needed to introduce is the idea of how tenuous the idea of carnivores and herbivores actually living harmoniously
Is.
and also the idea that carnivores are actually the ones primarily in power right now, and they are scared of losing their power, which
Right.
eventually of course they will.
do. Yeah,
Well,
right.
Probably a little bit.
But
But
yeah. And
let's recap.
So okay. Louis
He was up for selling as meat on the dark market.
On the dark market. Okay, that one of the things that does
Boy.
is that gives a whole lot even more to all the times when he's like, oh, Legoshi's moving his hands.
Yep.
You know, like it's one of those things where, and even more so, gives reason for why. Because okay, at the beginning with how Louis was introduced, he got a very aggressive introduction, and that worked, right?
Yep.
And it was just that, yes, he's the deer. He wants to be the powerful one, right?
Yep.
Totally makes sense because it's a really nice contradiction. It's crisp. We don't need anything more than that.
Right. But we found out very quickly that the reason why it is very much fear-based. There was an action... There were actions within his character that were subconscious and conscious that lended towards him being one who is afraid of carnivores, which makes sense, but the hyper focus on it as opposed to the way that other characters show their kind of instinctual fear with regards to carnivores was slightly different.
Right.
Now we have a reason for that is like very
Goes beyond
pointed,
just the instinctual,
detailed
but
trauma.
also right. It's experiential. Yeah, it's traumatic. It's all of these things that are so visceral.
Yep.
It's everything he can do to try and escape from them. Right. In a lot of ways, he's still the deer running away from the scary thing. Right. But instead, in this case, he's been given a path by this figure.
Right.
Which, like,
so let's
by
talk
the way,
about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
The whole idea of someone that is a herbivore that just goes into the dark market and everyone's like, oh shit. And he didn't have anyone with him. Like, of course not, because he's doing something he doesn't want anyone to know about. But like, but the idea that he's that like powerful, essentially.
We know why. He's the head of he said it's like Horns Corporation.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is wealthy, powerful, all that stuff.
This is basically a weird twist on the Batman origin story.
Yeah.
You get someone that basically is set up to be, you will now become a Wayne. And instead of it being the thing of where your parents were, you know, killed by some gangster that gives you a sense of justice, it's like, no. You are in this situation, and someone who's not necessarily a good dad comes in and goes, I will make you my own. Mm-hmm. Which is... okay, let's take it with a grain of salt. He is setting this kid free.
Yes.
He is not only doing that, he is setting this kid up for success. Mm-hmm. 3, I would say he is probably trying to give him some semblance of a feeling of home and family.
Sure.
Even if it's something where it's not real.
Or if it's simply because that will make him more effective of an heir.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's for an end result, not necessarily for the act of the relationship itself.
Like, when he hugged him, it felt very like, I'm going to now hug you. I'm going to show you this is a hug.
But the thing is that if you've never experienced that, it might be enough. That's the thing. People that are raised in situations where they don't know how much they are worth, when they see something that slightly exceeds what their self-worth is, they go, oh my god, either that's amazing and that's the best thing ever, or oh my god, I don't deserve that.
Right.
Or some variation.
It can get all kinds of messy and complicated. And in Louis' perspective, like Louis' standpoint in history and all of that stuff that we now have, like, oh my god, like... Because there's a couple things we can infer from the father figure. One was that he's powerful. Yes.
So in some ways, it shows where Louis gets his desire to walk into a room and have all the carnivores cower.
Right, because he knows that it's possible.
He knows that it's possible.
Right.
Now, it's extremely difficult. 2, this guy has a dream. And he is imprinting that onto a blank slate.
Right.
A traumatized, broken blank slate.
Yep.
Which is, in and of itself, incredibly messed up.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly messed up.
But then there's the idea of how easy it probably is to do that. Because Louis is, in some ways, not even a blank slate. He was in a place where he was so terrified and, like, practically feral, right? To the point where... taking care of the survival needs, basically, like, you know, food, shelter, and not being eaten by carnivores, that will basically would have made him just be like, yep, whatever you say, that's what I'll do. And the whole thing that we were talking about at the beginning of, like, the first episode of the show, of like, damn, this guy's a sociopath. That's because he was raised by a fucking sociopath.
No, okay, so I think we need to tone back a little bit of the judgments on the father figure initially here.
Because perspectives, all that.
Yeah, one of the things that is very easy to do is to look at this situation and go, now we can just shift blame. Nothing is ever so simple. And I'm calling you out specifically in here because I think the main point that they were trying to drive across is the origins as to where his emotional state and his own brokenness came from somewhere.
Yes.
And it's not that it's necessarily we don't blame the father or anything like that. It's just that there's a source that now has a picture.
Yep.
We are going to get to fill in the details, but we now have an outline. We can paint within this specific area, and it's somewhere in there that a lot of this all came from.
I want to point out something though, that Louis' dad, right? He was going in to get the other one, right?
Well,
and then because you know he was impressed by Louis' actions, then he'll still left that one there. I
want to bring up the idea that he wasn't necessarily going there to get anyone. Let me go back and check the specific one. This is where's number 4.
Oh, okay.
I think that's more of just
the age of 5. Okay.
Yeah, he sold his dark market for a prey, and then leaving this prison being dead, he sees someone his self-esteem, spare the pleasantries. hold on. So goes and grabs one of the other ones, and
Right.
then Louis goes to
Defend them.
defend them,
Mhm.
and then he sees this,
Right.
and it's weird. He goes, the other carnivore is like, "What? Are you sure?" And he's like, "Do it." So it's weird. It doesn't seem like he told us exactly what his intentions were by coming here.
Right, but he was going to purchase one. Because okay, the fact that he couldn't have kids, the fact that he ended up buying Louis, and that originally he came there and then one of them was going to be taken, which was also a deer, right?
Right.
Same kind of deer and everything. I'm guessing that he was like, all right, I need someone. Then he's like, all right, I'll pick this one, and then he's like, oh, this one shows promise.
But there's things that I think are assumed within that I don't think fully line up. The issue is that why was he there at all? The guy's like, "What are you doing here?" Like,
Right, well-
there's no precedent for this guy being here. Meaning, he doesn't
Yeah.
by being here immediately go and say, "I am going to buy a kid."
Well, I
necessarily.
think the reason for that is because why in the hell would a herbivore buy a herbivore, right? Like, because it's the dark market. You buy him to eat them, right? And then here, this guy comes in, and it's not just like, you're Bruce Wayne, you're the Prince of Gotham City. I know your name, sir. What are you doing here? Like, and then he buys him. Like, I don't know. There could maybe be something else to it too, but I think that's the simplest explanation we have so far, which is what it ended up being with Louis.
Well, that's why I was saying, if we focus more on the end result as to what happened, I think we can get at things that are more of a higher percentage of being like right. I think that is definitely a thing that we can suppose. But think about the idea then that he chose a kid because of the sense of justice that this kid had.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
meaning that if this kid didn't show a sense of justice,
He wouldn't have-
what would he have done?
Yeah, Louis would have still been in that cage and then later sold and eaten.
Well, right. But what would the guy have done?
Taking the other one that he was originally going to get.
Okay, okay.
Well,
Okay.
like, I mean,
all right.
Assuming that they were not pulling the deer out for something else. I don't know. Maybe he actually likes trying eating meat or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But yeah, he could have been trying to buy the other kid. Yeah. So this is the first adult herbivore Louis has ever seen.
right, which is crazy considering that he was sold when he was 5.
Yeah.
So-
this is the other part though in the next scene though where it gets really disturbing. Why did he throw him into the carnivore area there and give him a knife?
See what he would do.
Well, yeah. And also, just before this, he was biting the hand
Yep.
of the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he's
Right.
like, reluctant, aren't we? It's almost like he's saying, oh, you think you should be scared of me?
Yeah.
No. Here's what you should be scared of.
Right. Yeah.
And he, look, this one's literally a gray wolf.
Yep.
The others are all highlighted in darkness. This one is the only one with a defined shadow
Right,
color.
with a color and with no eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Like, so
So I have some things that this reminds me of from another show.
yeah.
There's a lot more I would say that's dark about this one than the one I'm thinking of. But this reminds me a lot of Attack on Titan.
Oh.
Except with Attack on Titan, this wasn't something that the father wanted it to go this way.
So are you talking about the
Eren and
Eren
Dad.
and-
I'm trying to keep it spoiler free, but
Yeah.
but what
Okay.
Eren's dad did
Gotcha.
to Eren,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was something that he wished it didn't have to be that way.
Right.
In this case, though, this is I am giving you an
Yeah.
arbitrary tool to basically give you maybe some power here,
Yep.
and I want to see how you use it.
Right. But
So-
the thing is that even then with that knife, he's still completely helpless, right? Like the carnivores would have totally torn him to shreds. So it's also this thing of, I want to make sure I instill in you what, like you were saying, what you should really be afraid of,
Right.
Oh boy.
But this part, he's like, Oh, prideful boy.
Yeah, trying to take your own life rather than be eaten. Yeah.
Right. So he tells him his name, how he has his power, why he's taking him, and he's like, I don't have children. So if we go with your theory that he's done this, well, or he was going to find a son no matter what, basically what you're saying. He came here for that, or a daughter, or what have you. Do you think he's done this before?
Possibly. I think it's probably less likely that he's done it before. I did think about that for a while because originally I thought that he actually intended for him to fight through the carnivores, like some sort of rite of passage, and if you don't, oh well, I'll get another one. But given that it seemed more responding to a way that Louis was acting, and then he was still right there and basically pulled him out. I think there's still a chance that there have been others before Louis, but I'd say it's probably more likely that Louis is the first because it makes it a bit more secure for him he definitely wouldn't want this to be out, like the secret to get out that he did this or that he does do this. So
I think that this is another thing where Louis is burdened because he's the only one.
Right.
And that adds to his burden. But this part here I thought was rather sad. Is he saying, can you feel it, while he's embracing him? And then he's like, yeah, all your frustration and sadness, you must turn them into strength. What's interesting here is that when you're embraced by someone that is, stronger than you, and there's no fear in it. They're not doing this to be aggressive towards you or something. It's safe. It's comforting. There's a feeling in that their strength is supporting you, covering you.
Yeah.
But he's saying, do you feel the things inside you? That's where your strength is coming from. This is a difference of where a father is trying to comfort a son who is a child, and a father who is trying to basically say, this is the strength I have, but you need to find your own strength. I'm not going to let you be a child.
Right, yeah, because in this situation, it's something where the Ogama, I think was his name.
Yeah.
He specifically made him as terrified as he could possibly be.
Yeah, because he could have just left without going in there.
He could have left the little cage doors or whatever shut, you know, and just watched.
Yeah, Louis would have been resisting him still because he wouldn't have known necessarily what was coming next.
Right, and he was about to kill himself.
Yeah,
but now it's it's like a carrot and a stick at the same time.
Where it's definitely.
You make them totally vulnerable, and then you say, yes, I'm here for you. It's all kinds of messed up,
right,
and also very effective.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes me not want to immediately go that this dad is a horrible person. I think that he's definitely a messed up person, but the fact in that Louis might have immediately found a way to conquer the initial fear of being free from his cage. This did work. And it's really dark. But how else is Louis going to quickly be able to move on from this trauma without some kind of powerful memory associated with his leaving?
Yep.
Because the act of him coming to basically say, I'll take you and set you free, that might be something that would be resonating with him. But it's also not true.
Sure.
So he kind of needs to...
Right, it's saying, I need you to accept the shackles that I am...
Exactly.
I need you to take up the shackles and place them on yourself willingly that I am offering you in order to go do this thing. Right. And
which is still really empowering if you think about it from the standpoint in that Louis is going to be backed by this guy.
Yep. And
but still...
Well, and I'm guessing that's what this guy did, because this guy has his own story, and the fact that he's doing this with Louis is because it's something that he has found to work. Whether it was
he
something
can't do it himself.
Well, sure, right. He has his own limitations and things like that. But it's something where whether it was by someone else that did the same thing to him or something similar, or him doing it to himself, which is what we were kind of originally thinking it was for Louis, right? There was some point where it reached that point of no return, right?
Right.
And then that crossroads, and then this is where it went. And especially if most of the people in power in this world are the carnivores, then it makes a lot of sense that he would be like that if he's, say, one of the few like powerful businessmen or things like that in this world. So
especially since he wasn't powerful enough to remove the records of Louis being in the dark market.
That's true.
Which then ended up coming out later, which means on some level that he's maybe rich and he's maybe really powerful, but he is not
He's wealthy, but he doesn't
top
have
tier.
He doesn't have
that
level of
he doesn't have make someone not exist money, which is funny because that's what he told the carnivore to do. Was this child no longer exists? And then later the lion mayor is like, by the way, your records. Wait.
Yep.
Wait. I have to really like think about this a little bit because I have the visceral desire in the same way you do to put like so much of my vitriol regarding this whole situation onto this guy. Ogama or Ogama. Thank you.
Right, but he's one piece of it, and then there's all the other pieces, right? In the same way that I'm really glad they did this. Showcasing the mayor's internal thoughts and the fact that he knows, like, so that we know that he didn't have anything directly to do with this, right? Because it wasn't something where it's like it's part of his personal hit squad or something like that.
No, they're just out of control.
They're just out of control, right?
He has no way that under his current arsenal that he can effectively change this,
which is awesome because because it's still a despicable thing to do, but it shows. But what it does is it shows that even this carnivore in this position of power is really, if you think about it, feels like they're in a situation where they're actually the prey.
And they're trapped.
They're trapped, right? And there are all these other things out there that will tear them to shreds if they mess up. So then they've got to do all these little things in order to keep their, sad little king of a sad little hill thing going, right?
Right.
And that Louis, as much as he hated it and he was wanting to reject it, it was still something where when push came to shove, literally with Legoshi being like, "What the hell are you doing, man?" He didn't change, right? And it might be something where, eventually, like, afterwards he'll be like, shit, no, I need to do this. But at this point, it makes sense that he wouldn't because this is all he's ever known, right? Out there is where I get eaten, right? So, because just because he's out of there now, that doesn't mean that if he were to really, like, give the bird to Ogama, that Ogama wouldn't just theoretically send him right back.
I mean, I don't think he would. I think he would just be like, okay, but why are you wasting this? See, that's the thing. I don't think it's that simple. I think it's something where it's just like, if you just throw this whole thing off, like, what has all these years been? Like, what's the point?
Why have you been struggling so much up till this point?
Right, exactly. I think that Ogama has probably got just enough of a
already personal investment in...
Well, no, I would say a sense of personal investment. Oh, sorry. Were you going to say that he's communicated that personal investment for Louis enough? Or are you saying that he has enough personal investment in Louis himself?
That he has enough personal investment in Louis.
He definitely does there. But I'm saying...
it's been 13 years or whatever.
But I'm saying that Louis has been communicated and groomed a specific way to where he already is in too deep within his own reasons for being here.
Which
like,
is...
think hold on. Think about the actual trauma he's been through, right?
Oh, it's insane.
Well, but like, what kind of, like, powerful thing could carry you through this in a positive way rather than in a recuperating, rehabilitation way than some kind of burdened with glorious purpose.
Right.
I'm the main character. I'm going to change this world with my own hands. It's like he's setting himself up for failure in a lot of ways, but the delusions of grandeur thing is a hell of a drug. It can keep you really distracted.
Yep.
And one of the things that's really, really dark and I would say messed up about a lot of guys that I know is that most of them are just distracted enough where it's like, sure. I feel okay with my life.
Yeah. Yep.
But if those distractions started to go away,
Sound of silence.
then
be maddening. Yeah. Yeah.
But so one of the reasons why this really excites me, not just because of the whole stuff of Legoshi actually like saying like, hey, I'm going to be assertive and I'm going to try and win over Haru and all that stuff and everything, which I am so down for. And as soon as the power went out in the previous episode and they formed the defensive circle, I was like, I want to see something where Legoshi actually has a chance to really showcase his wolf side, the carnivore predator side, and have it be a good thing. And this is an opportunity for that, even though it is on one of the more like, sort of like soapy angles of the kidnapping and everything.
It's not going to work.
Right.
That's
of course not, because one, they're lions, and wolves,
he's alone.
and he's alone. The lone wolf dies, the pack survives. But in addition to all of that stuff, what this does is this shows that this builds up even more the whole idea of what we'd seen before, that Louis is still trapped. He's still just as trapped. The fact that he took that deal shows it. And that's why he's so mad at Legoshi, because he says, you're trapping yourself when you don't need to, right? I need to, right? But you don't, so why are you doing that? And Legoshi needs to embrace his strength. Once he does that, hopefully maybe it can showcase to Louis that maybe he can actually break free of his shackles too.
Yeah.
And that...
it's good.
Oh man,
it's just good writing. Like one of the things that when we say the soapy angle and stuff like that is that the drama suddenly all was dropped all at once.
It went to concrete, like less personal kind of stakes. Not less personal because it still involves Haru, but it's not involving the emotions and feelings of the people involved. It's the literal, practical, oh my god, she's gonna get eaten. Like she's literally bathing herself so that she can be as aromatic as possible so that she'll be tastier. Like
baiting herself?
Bathing.
Oh, bathing.
Yeah,
You said baiting.
No.
Wait, what?
I mean, there might be some basting that happens too,
oh my god.
but...
Okay. So, back to Louis.
Yeah.
Louis. He has this ritual that he's doing where he goes and remembers Tem. And it's precious because Tem was the character that we first saw being friendly to Legoshi. And we know that Legoshi was alone a lot previously. Seeing a random new character, though, which we might have seen before, but
not in any like super serious context.
I don't really remember where we had seen them, if at all. Attacks Louis and drops the idea that because he's going to potentially become the Beastar, which has a much larger political influence on the power struggle, power struggle between carnivores and herbivores.
Right, it's not just like this school kind of a thing.
Right. It's something where maybe it means something in the first immediate sense for the school, but later you can get into like higher positions of political influence, job opportunities, all these other kinds of things that are just generally like, it's like you graduated valedictorian?
Right, at Harvard.
Exactly. Yeah, you get some cool whatever.
Right.
But in this case, it's like even more than that. So they're like, we'll try to kill him.
Right.
We'll just try to kill him. And what's really just messed up about this is that this devouring that happened, they're like, no, we haven't found the murder.
Yeah.
But we also, in the same episode, had an instance of kidnapping where the powers that be were just like, this didn't happen.
Let's brush that under the rug.
That didn't happen.
Like,
so this could have been another instance of that. But also, the brazen act of trying to do this at all shows on some level that this carnivore did not fear the consequences. In fact, the cheetah thought he would make a name for himself.
Yep.
If that doesn't scream topical, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
This is so freaking just dark and messed up that I have to think on some level that the point in which the cheetah kind of like looked at Legoshi and was like, you're a carnivore too.
Yeah.
You know what it's like.
And
it was one of those things of like, where the main character was like, what? I don't know what it's like. What are you talking about? No. Because he could be talking about a couple things here. He could be talking about, well, you want to feed, right? Like,
sure.
You want to eat meat, but that's not what's going on here. This is a hit, basically.
Right.
A inspired hit.
Well,
I just came upon this idea myself.
Staking out chunkier territory, like because that's kind of what it was. It's that I'll become more of the alpha sort of in this area if I'm the one to do it, right?
But think about that. Why would that be the reason? If he's so concerned about the idea of Louis being a Beastar, that he would potentially throw away his life, to do this, but his one revealed reason that he had for this that was like, a personal kind of selfish, egocentric thing was, I'll make a name for myself.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go back and check.
I want to beat all the other people that are going to try and do it.
That. Okay, so let's like actually get to see that this is the thing there. He's like, I'm less inclined to tell you. I'll tell you what, you're a carnivore and you don't know. There are a ton of carnivore students making plans to lynch Louis. It's pretty decided that Louis will become the Beastar after the Meteorite Festival. They'll lose a lot of status. I thought I'd get a head start to make a name for myself. Now, why would a carnivore think that devouring a herbivore would give them a name for themselves if that's not already a commonly talked about thing?
Right.
What kind of circles is this guy running in where that's just something as a student, a teenager, he thinks about? That just shows how broken this whole society is and how actually not functional it is.
Right.
That this is just something he's like, casually mentioning.
Oh, yeah.
World building at its finest. That's just
it's wonderful. One of the things that I do want to bring up on the Louis thing with this scene that I think is really cool is that the whole idea of him going back and constantly leaving the flowers,
right?
That's basically a part of him that's reminding himself that could have been me. I came from that place, right?
Sure.
It's a reminder of where he came from, and it's a showcasing to himself that that person that he was isn't fully gone. Well, that he overcame it,
or he is constantly in the state of overcoming it,
right? And that basically that's something where it goes to show that he's not completely won over and transformed by Oguma yet, right? And that I think is important to mention. Because it's something where he's doing it for himself. He's doing it in secret. It's not something so he can. It's not to make him be more of a Beastar or anything like that. Because maybe a couple people know about it, but he doesn't draw attention to it.
Yep.
Right. So it's strictly for himself, which says a lot.
It totally does.
And then
we are like, oh, let's just do a love confession.
Yeah.
Thank goodness that we actually got a love confession casually in the middle of an anime episode.
And there were all the things that were like, oh, yeah, let's make it so that doesn't actually happen. But no, it's an intentional thing by Haru because she's trying to deflect and it's not comfortable of a situation, right? But it doesn't stop the thing from happening, right? That was...
Oh my God. I gotta say, the comedy double panel of the two of them, like... those faces... were the perfect bit of levity in this episode.
Yeah.
This episode is really heavy.
It's sandwiched, on both sides of this,
But just the idea that Haru's like, I don't want to ruin this kind of connection I have with Legoshi, so I'm going to try and subtly be like, hey, let's talk about something else. My ears are itchy. Mosquito bites. But then the way that he brings this up is in a way that is so, I would say, conscientious and patient that we actually got to hear Hara's internal thoughts about this and how it's like, no, it's not gonna be that easy, bro. I can't just make this go a certain way. And I love how it's something where she's not just considering her own feelings within this because she's like, when is the last time a guy's got me this confused?
Right.
It's like...
feelings were never really a part of it. It was just,
Right. Yeah. But also she's like, hey, your nose, I hope your nose gets better. It's like, I do care about you too.
Right. And I want to express that, but at the same time, I
can't go like that way with it.
Yeah.
So I really feel for Hara here as well.
Yeah. Oh man.
And then I think it's really, really disturbing, right as she's like, as long as instincts exist, everyone has to make it through life by hurting themselves and others. Right. Isn't that right? And then immediately she gets taken. Instincts and then just malevolence and just dark
Right.
intentions and stuff.
But oh man.
Well,
So
based on someone who's utilizing their instincts to the
Right.
fullest. Yeah.
oh boy.
I'm so glad that we also are moving the plot along so quickly that it's not this thing of, oh no, where is she?
Right,
It's
yeah.
like, no,
Like-
we
like-
found this. We are good, friends and stuff, and we also have maybe some history with Hara. So
right.
we found this, and a shoe as well. Yeah, that's a little weird, right?
Right. And then, so, oh man, oh boy. But like the fact that a love confession happened in here, and it was just like there it is, and then on to something else, right?
Yeah.
And that what it actually is that's being put off is the conversation about, hey, given the fact that this is a thing, what happens next, right?
Yep.
And that's what's being put off, which I love, because then it's still something that keeps that tension there, because that's a conversation that needs to happen. But
Right.
you know now that the conversation has to happen because that line has already been crossed, right? Of the confession itself. So and then all of this, oh my god, like
Yeah. Okay. So then we get the lions, and this whole scene just is really uncomfortable.
Yep.
We know the stakes. Thank you for making it.
And it doesn't involve
aware of
cows.
us. But different kind of meat.
Yeah.
But this conversation between the mayor and Louis was one that we both thought it was going to be Legoshi, right?
Yeah,
We both
yeah.
thought it was going to be Legoshi talking to him.
Yep,
But no. This is something that also nuances the mayor in a really dark way as well. It's the idea that there's only so much he can do.
Right.
He has literally warped his entire existence to make this position something that not only he is capable of, winning and having, but something where he can keep it.
Right. Like,
And-
he doesn't even have his lion's teeth anymore.
Nope.
So this is how he asserts himself, basically, right? And oh boy,
This is the ultimate picture of what if Louis was a carnivore, basically he would end up kind of being, maybe.
right, which is great, because then it's another reminder to himself of that this is actually what he's fighting against.
This
right?
is not the way it should be done.
Yeah.
Even for carnivores. Like, this is
exactly.
not.
Yeah, that fire inside him that was sort of instilled inside him, but also stoked and everything and whatnot, is to make it so that this does not happen.
Right. Yeah. The mayor is grooming Louis by doing this and saying, you're going to become the Beastar. And I need you to be aware that things are about to get a little bit grayer
Yep.
and darker, and also ways in which you might be held more captive by the title of Beastar than what the privileges of you being the Beastar actually grant you. And the idea that there's this group just called the Leo group, it's like, okay, cool. They don't have to be a typical mafia thing like we were kind of guessing. They don't even have to be a political group. They could just be some kind of faction of carnivores that are, carnivore, whatever stuff.
Sure.
But the idea that we simplify the story down to the Hara is not more important than your dream, right?
Which is what we always knew,
Yeah.
right? But the thing is that now Louis has to come face to face with that, right?
Quickly.
Very quickly,
Yeah.
viscerally. Like, and the thing is that because there was just enough aspects of it where it could be self-deception and whatnot, where he didn't have to wake up and smell the roses, like that now he might be forced to sort of look inside and be like, is this the person I actually want to be?
Yeah. Just looking at Louis' body language, it just pains me, man.
Yep.
It's one of the weirder situations where we've seen Louis in a place where he doesn't feel like he's got control or power to have any influence with the other people that he's engaged with.
Yep.
But this is where you can tell he has nothing.
Right. And
He has actually nothing he can do here
well,
except
yeah.
the one thing that he refuses to do.
Right. Because and that's the thing. Because it wasn't that he was like, yes, I'll take this deal. This seems good. It's unfortunate, but there we go, right? He was really
like,
conflicted about it. And he was just starting to pull his hand away, but the thing is that that's where he needs to tap into that that fighter spirit kind of the thing that
thing that it doesn't come instinctually.
Right, that thing that doesn't come instinctually and be like, you know what? No. I'm going to stand my ground,
Yeah, because it wouldn't have worked. I'll just say.
Oh yeah.
He can't do anything.
Nope. Yeah, he would have been crushed by this guy, right?
Yeah. He would have just been denied the idea of Beastar.
Yep.
He's like, no, I'll find someone else.
Right, exactly.
Juno's waiting in the wing. So there are others out there.
Oh, man.
I love that he comes so quickly because we've got the pacing going here, nice and strong.
Yep.
We got to go quickly and bring Legoshi into this because it's also, let's build the soapiness as well. And then Legoshi's character motivations makes perfect sense as to why then he would react so violently against Louis' decision here.
Well,
and then Louis' internals.
And because before Legoshi showed up, as soon as Louis was out of there, he was angry.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it was one of those things where it's like, yes, this is the place where we need Louis to be in, right? Because basically he forgot himself in there for a bit. Because he's not technically a carnivore, but he is at that point where, he's the predator of the jungle and everything, right? Remember that. You forgot that. And then because Legoshi then shows up, then suddenly he gets defensive because he doesn't want to admit to himself that that's what happened, even though that is what happened. And he was being forced to acknowledge it just then. But then Legoshi comes up and interrupts him, and then he sees again the person that has all that, but then doesn't do it. And it's just frustrating, and it takes his mind off of where it needed to be. And then it goes the way it goes.
Yep.
And then this is where he buckles down. This is where he stands his ground in the place where he didn't need to.
I mean, he totally needed to.
Well, no. In the fight with Legoshi.
Yeah, I think he totally needed to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Stand his ground? Yeah. If he didn't, he would have doubted himself. If he didn't hold tight to this here, the deception wouldn't take hold.
Well, right. Well, yes.
He needs to convince himself. That's what this whole thing is here.
Right. Exactly. Yes. From that angle, he needs to do it. Right.
I gotta say that we have never seen this expression from Louis before, though. Now, this is something that I think is just almost beautiful. When he was in the room or the tent with the mayor, you could see that he was drooping. He was I would say focused downward.
Right.
You're not shame, but that feeling of like, I don't have power here.
Yeah.
When Legoshi brings up to him, he's like, then I will show you my honest wolf strength to make you realize how much danger Hara is in right now. In this point, he looks up at Legoshi and he goes, how? Like, you'll show me? You will? There's almost this expectation of like, wait, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Like I am feeling something different here.
Right.
It's almost as if I am like transfixed in a
deer in headlights.
Well, right, but it's not, because I think deer in headlights is more just kind of neutral. It's like your eyes are vacant. There's nothing happening behind the scenes. But this is something where he's almost going, thank you.
Yeah.
Like
he's looking up to Legoshi.
He's
like
literally looking
yeah.
up to him.
Yeah.
But then once he gets hit, in that respect, it gives him the permission. And this is something that I think that Legoshi might not have even fully understood until they were fighting. Is that at that point, Louis is free to unleash all of his frustration, his strength.
Which
upon Legoshi, because Legoshi can take it.
Yeah, and it's a way of basically, it makes Louis then acknowledge it to himself, and at that point, then maybe after this point, like, because okay, I know it wouldn't work. But the fan fiction side of my head wants the two of them to bust in together back to back and kick ass, right?
But Like,
that's not going to happen. That
right. But
But-
here's something that I could actually see being where they set this up. There's literally a MacGuffin that was set up in order to make there be a potential rescue mission that would actually work. Do you remember Bill?
yes,
Someone that Legoshi has a secret on?
that's true.
Someone who is stronger even than Legoshi?
Yeah. Like, okay, yeah.
I just want to say that
Uh-huh.
if Legoshi basically says, because he's acknowledging this, why are you taking your frustration out on me?
Yep.
This isn't the right time. But then he goes, okay, if all you can do is walk this straight line, then it's my job to walk the other line. You know,
And yeah, so
this is my job. I'll take Haru. And I love that. But what he could then do is, as we were saying at the end of the episode when we reacted to this, is, all right, then it's my time to go and walk the dark places.
right.
In a way that might end up doing initially what Legoshi wanted to do, which is protect Louis.
Sure.
Like, think about it. This is an area where Louis cannot act.
Right.
He is trapped.
Yeah.
If Legoshi realizes this eventually, this could be their dynamic. Is that you have the
Right.
face of this new movement, and it's Louis. And he is proud and powerful. And in the background, quietly, maybe even a little bit shrinking there, is a wolf that is dangerous.
Right. Because the problem with the whole carnivore predator side of things is not the danger aspect of it,
No.
but it's the when it controls you, not when you control it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But
It's the maturation to adulthood.
right, and that's why the panda is so important, right? It's he has mastered himself, right? You know, he's no chubby panda either. He's a thick, strong boy, right? So, okay, next fantasy fan fiction here.
Okay.
Wolves lead packs. What if theoretically,
Yeah.
as a part of a crazy, grandiose, almost too ridiculous movement or whatever, Legoshi rounds up a bunch of the other predators or carnivores at the school of basically, our school's been attacked. I'm rounding up basically a posse to go and, you know, get Haru back, like, or something. I don't know, but like
Yeah,
because
I know, but there's okay.
yeah, there's to go so badly, like students would die and things.
Well, okay. Here's the reason why I think that something like that will happen, but also why it's not going to work. Haru as a character, I don't think is going to die or something like that.
Right.
So in some ways, the dramatic consequences are being set up in such a way to where something worse could happen that's not death, which that would suck. That would be really painful. But I think what it will be is that Legoshi does just enough chaos. Not enough, like, actual, like, literal charging into a place chaos. But maybe he calls it in with the panda. Maybe he brings in Bill. Maybe he even like brings in like Alba and freaking like you know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, like who else?
School students infiltrating the dangerous compound and rescue their Nakama. Hell yeah.
Juno or something. Like,
sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's so many problems I have with that in some ways I have to basically operate this on the standpoint that Haru's probably not going to die.
Right. Because this is a high school anime from what we've seen so far.
Right.
But then it just went.
But Louis is going to do something. And if he's going to do something, that means it has to work on some level. I don't think it's going to work entirely.
Do you mean Louis or Legoshi?
Did I say Louis? I keep doing this.
Well, I think Louis could totally do something too in a different way, maybe, hopefully.
I think the entire next episode is not even going to focus on Louis. We just had a big deep dive into Louis this episode.
We did, and we just had Legoshi literally say, "All right, sit down. It's my turn."
Yeah.
Yep. Like
Guys.
I came to you because I believed in you to do it, right? I was basically saying, yeah, you go. Like, and you know, you do something, I'll follow, right? You're the alpha essentially, right? But not anymore.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh man.
That's my feelings too.
Oh man.
last, I would say, kind of big thing here, kinda, is that we have a couple things that are at the end of the Meteorite Festival, at the end of the Meteorite Festival, at the night of the Meteorite Festival. All those things might not necessarily happen, and yet because they said them, those things are probably going to happen. Which, by convention standpoint, means that if we go into theory time here for a second, Legoshi's most dangerous thing that he has right now is not that he's a wolf and he can do a lot of physical damage. It's something regarding the fact that he knows that this is something that is getting covered up. So Louis very much had the whole thing of, I kind of have to agree with the mayor. I can't bring the city into chaos just for one person. Legoshi might not draw that connection there. And what kind of chaos would be enough to force a response? I'm thinking like really dramatic things, because if we're setting up a really dramatic narrative here, he doesn't know where the Leo group is necessarily. But I could see them very easily, for the sake of the pacing, have him find out by some way. Even if it's just him calling the panda guy and be like, hey, where does the Leo group operate? And he's gonna be like, why the hell are you asking that? And he's gonna be like, they took my friend. And he's gonna be like, okay.
He's a wolf. He can track.
Yeah. I know he can smell Hara. I know. And that's great and all. But my thing is, let's just say he finds out where they are. Right? What is he actually going to do? I don't think just busting in and taking her is going to be enough. I think he's going to need to think a little smart here. I think it's going to be either a stealth mission and it works just perfectly, and it's kind of as boring as ever. It just works, right?
As opposed to
he basically drops all the info with like serious people and starts a little bit of chaos in that regard. Even if it's something that hurts maybe, Louis via the mayor.
What? So one of the other things, this is just something I'm throwing out there, right? Not that I think this will necessarily be relevant here. But carnivores. It's not specifically that they like to eat herbivores. They like to eat meat.
True.
It doesn't necessarily matter where it comes from, but herbivores can't defend themselves, so, if you can either risk your life to do something or not risk your life to do something, but the answer's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, but because of also evolution and just the natural progression of things, certain animals prefer certain types of meat.
Sure. Yes, that too. Yeah. And there's the whole thing of, herbivores generally being tastier than carnivores,
Or certain eggs being tastier.
Yes. But
just saying.
But what if there was I could almost see something, potentially, right? Where if enough carnivores gathered together and they were basically like, hey, the dark market exists, it's crazy expensive though, and things like that. But what if there was a reason where they could feel essentially morally justified to actually enact their predation, right? Because carnivores kill each other all the time, right?
Well, in this world,
or not necessarily in this world. We haven't seen it, but in our world, right? Normally, carnivores will kill each other all the time, but it's always for a reason. Usually, something with regards to territory, right?
Yeah.
But is there a way that could be brought into this story so that we could get some, it would just be really cool to see some kind of squad of carnivores going
carnivores be carnivores. I think that the disturbing thing, and where you're probably going to end up being right about this on some level, is that this is what's already happening.
Right. It's just happening behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Right, so why not bring it out into the open? Yeah.
Well, it's so not even a door.
Yeah.
It's like a transparent veil.
Right. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. He's eating someone. Pay no attention. Yeah. Yep.
There's so many other things I think I could discuss with this show, But the fact that this episode was a setup episode.
Yeah.
This was a setup episode. It did capitulate a couple arcs.
That's true.
And provided a good step in the direction for the development of Legoshi.
Mm-hmm.
It set up the arc for Louis.
Right.
And established kind of the details for a bunch of specific things within that.
Mm-hmm.
It set up the story for the conflict with Hara being kidnapped.
Yep.
And then it set up the, love confession stuff as well.
Yeah, right.
And it also set up the whole new dynamic between Louis and Legoshi's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that were set up here. But this was that. So what happens when we get an episode where they execute?
I have
This show, man.
no idea,
Yeah.
but I am very excited to find out.
I think that this is also revealing for me
Oh, yeah?
the type of shows I like. I actually like the soap opera kind of drama in certain styles of doses.
Yeah.
Like I like that, like Bill. I
Dope
dope on that every
yeah.
once in a while,
Uh-huh.
But I think that Beastars hits a specific note within that because of the quality of the main characters.
Yes.
And Legoshi
Really solid.
and his internals this episode were so good that I feel like that's the only thing left really to discuss is just the fact that he was able to come to these decisions, and then based on that, when he was in the middle of some really intense moments, like literally with the cheetah, where he's like, oh, yeah, he would be the one that is the most ideal for this. And then, his talks with Haru is like, I just want to be harmless and stuff. Like, we are seeing a new character just slowly coming
growing
more and more out of his cocoon.
Yep.
And, it's a slow process, but this butterfly's getting some wings.
I really hope. Okay. If at some point in the future we get a point where Legoshi howls,
oh, that's gonna happen.
that would
Of
be
course.
so sweet.
I mean,
Like,
why wouldn't that happen?
well, right. But
It's just a matter of when. you know?
But I never thought about that until now, right?
Wait,
Because
didn't I mention that though? Like 5 or 6 episodes ago?
maybe you did.
Yeah, I was
I don't
literally
know.
like, I mentioned that too.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was like, I want to see
man.
this boy howl in
Yeah.
like the frustration of dealing with this whole situation, because that was, I think, back when he was dealing with the fact that he nearly ate Haru.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But guys, Louis is a hell of a character, and we got his backstory. Legoshi is an incredible main character, and now it's also the thing of where Louis is also kind of a main character as well.
Yep.
And they in like the actual like plot kind of conflict and stuff. And Haru is being relegated a little bit to a specific trope, but if this is not the end of her story, and we have the other stuff that was going on before this kind of specific kind of trope was utilized, there's some really cool things they can do with her character that are like just have infinite potential.
Well, and all the internal monologues were really good this episode, right? We got them for all 3 of our core characters, and it was fantastic. And the ones for Haru, even if they aren't quite as on the same level as the ones for Legoshi and Louis, they still need to be mentioned, because her thinking through all the complicated stuff that's happening with Legoshi and Louis and all that stuff, that really makes it so that I can care about her as a character, not just, and make her more than just like a placeholder token or whatever for the conflict between like Legoshi and Louis and things like that. So I loved what's happening with her. Yeah. Other than, all the kidnapping stuff.
Oh my god. So y'all, if you made it to the end of this discussion, you're a howling wolf. So
howl in the comments.
Howl off in the comments.
Yep.
Give us your best one. We're not going to see them, but we'll have mods let us know how the results went with regards to that. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. You can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
That's right. My sci-fi novel Battle Lines is still available for purchase on Amazon. The link is in the description down below.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.